Hey, it's me again. I'm going to piggyback on the power situation, off-grid power. What do I intend to do with all the excess heat? Because inevitably, with all the systems that I discussed in a previous video, go watch it if you care to find out how you become a self-sufficient powerhouse for not just you and your people, but also the local community. I mean, people are still going to need fuel, folks, and it's not that hard to make it yourself. You just need to know what you're doing, and that'll be that. But inevitably, with the systems I'm building, there's going to be an excess of heat. What do I do with it? I've talked about my thermal mass battery bank and then circulating fluids to power things or heat things like cabins, buildings, barns, livestock waterers, even, but also greenhouses for year-round growing. That is part of the plan. I already have my greenhouse fabric ready to go. I also have a solar kiln that I'll be building, which is going to be a wood-fired solar kiln, double filmed. It's going to be a good thing. That'll be more for my businesses when I get to it. But what do you do with all the extra heat? Here's another way, because what am I going to do? What am I going to do with all this extra power for myself? The point is that's not what my intention was. It was for other people to do all this. My hope and dream is that still, like, if you build it, they will come kind of thing. Like, God will send me people that I can fellowship with that are true believers that truly need help. They need somewhere to go to have a fresh start and like to live a wholesome life. And it'll be much easier for them and their families or whatever if I can do the hard things ahead of time. And that's what I've been trying to do for a few years now. So the excess heat will be used for some extra power generation, which will be steam, which will also double as a water purification through distillation. So it's going to have to be made and sourced, probably from stainless, like a turbine. I'll probably make some turbines or order some. I don't know if there's people out there that still make them. And this is assuming I can even get internet back. I mean, I'm working on it. I'm waiting on Hay. Got to figure out what's going on, but I should have Starlink whenever the hell it ships, if I can order it in the next few days. Without the internet, it kind of sucks around here, especially with a mind like mine. Like, I'm always thinking things. And anyways, yeah, so use steam. And yes, you need to know what you're doing. You need to know what material, you need to know what specific materials are rated for what types of pressures. And you need to make sure you're not screwing things up, because shit could go boom. All right. So you need to do your diligence or already know how it is. It's like an old boiler system, you know. But if you can swing it like I can and know what you're doing, then you can also use all that excess heat once it bleeds off. So you regulate the temperatures and then you redirect and then you bring it to a boil and you use the steam. That steam, well, you need pure drinking water anyways. Use it for power first and then let the steam come out. Make the system clean first. So you've got to use the right materials. You got to worry about what types of greases you're using, because that needs to be separated out, and it can't be petroleum. It's going to have to be some sort of food grade grease, or separate the whole bearings. And I don't know. I'll deal with that already. I've got sketchbooks of ideas for mechanisms for these things. Like, I've got all of it already. I've got all of the details already planned out. So that's kind of what I do in my free time, folks, is I figure shit out and I make sound plans, whether it be through innovation or through just diligence. I already know how to build the turbines. I have the material, I believe. If not, I can source it or trade or barter for it. I've got the ability to weld and fabricate. But yeah, that's what you get. So you get power generation from excess heat, which comes from your power generation and your processes for making fuel and whatnot. All of that excess heat is going to be channeled, utilized for the larger system and to run things year round. And then the excess heat, depending on what you're using it for, will then be used to generate power, which will then be stored in battery banks or in other systems. Like, here's a good idea for extra power storage, just like a battery, but it's a physical battery. And you build a tower, put a 2,000, 3,000 gallon tank on it, put it up 20 foot in the air or something like that. Use excess power from this. If you can't use it, like say your batteries are tapped off, pump water up there. Because then, all by gravity fed, you can run that water down through turbines, generate electricity right back to the system to be circulated again. And then when you have excess power, you do it. It's just storing potential energy. It's just kind of physics 101. I wouldn't know. I've never been able to go to a 101 course. They always make you start off in the 201s and go up to the 4s and the 5s, and then you get into the graduate and postgraduate work, which I don't want to get into that shit. But you know what I'm talking about if you know what I'm talking about. So you store up this potential energy and it's always there. Now, I don't need this much energy. I'm good with my little measly 3,000 watts and a generator here and there from time to time. You know what I'm saying? But it's for something greater. Because there wouldn't be a reason for me to do it or give me the ability to do it if it's not going to be for a function. And I've got to believe there's a purpose to all things, because there must be. Otherwise, there's no reason for a lot of things. But if you believe in God like I do, and you've stepped out in faith and you know Him, then you know He's got a reason for everything. And all you can do is the best with what you're given. And my whole heart is to help people. I may be my words may cut and prick some people's prides, but that's the point, man. I'm trying to cut the rot out of the believers, the body of believers, because there's too much sugar in the faith and nobody knows how to digest meat anymore. So just want to bring functionality back to the faith, and these types of things help. And yes, I'm blending functionality of homesteading with faith. So if you don't like it, you're not my audience anyways. But I mean, I still would like to help you if I can. If you saw my other videos on some of the systems and you're interested in that just for functionality's sake, stay tuned in the next however long things take, as long as they take out here. Stay tuned and we'll go through it, and I'll show you how to deal with like the questions that everybody needs answered. Because there's good videos out there I've seen of people trying to do similar things, but there's more complex things that need simplification, because it's really not that it's not complicated to me, at least. And I'll walk you through it. But yeah, you use everything. It's like a zero waste system. You just need to plan ahead and do your diligence ahead of time and have a good sound plan. And then you've got to be able to fabricate the machinery in order to do it. And I'm good at that. So stay tuned. If you have other ideas, like what else am I missing? Because I'm going to have a lot of power coming in, and I'm going to have workshops and businesses running. So I will need more power, but I'm not going to need that much power. And the reality is I'm going to be creating fuels that I'll be able to store and then use for my own vehicles. And I'm not ever going to think of selling it or anything like that. It's personal use. Because if all you think about is how to make money, like, you are missing the point of life, man. If everybody just cooperated with one another and wasn't a bunch of douchebags and selfish, then the world will be a different place. But here we are. Money, money, money. Me, 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 me. That's not where my heart is. It's not where my mind is. It's never how I've been. Sorry. I don't know. I gotta go. I hear something out there. See you later.